Alright guys, welcome back to the shop. It is Thursday. It is windy, kind of cool. I'm going to shoot this as an update video. This is not really going to be a part of the series. Whenever I get around to finishing painting this frame, I'll probably just delete this one off. But I did want to show y'all that I did get the axles covered with paint. What I used was Rusta Eastwood's rust encapsulator. I had this left over from my old diesel truck project. I had about a half a quart. Some of it was dried in the bottom, but I mixed it up as good as I could and slathered it on there just to give it a little bit of priming, and did the front also. And you can see where this coat is on the front. It's really rough. Looks like it tried to sleuth off right there. But anyway, I covered it up. I didn't paint the yoke, so I got to take that off and clean the holes out good. So that's coming back off. I didn't paint all the back plate because I figure we're going to have to replace these brakes and the calipers and everything, because this thing's been sitting a long time. And when I do that, I'll go ahead and do the wheel bearings and all that at the same time. That's not really going to hold me up from getting this frame back together. Same with this. When I get all this off, then I can kind of come back and hit like this arm here I didn't get, but really just in the way. But most of the other stuff I got pretty good. I also got the motor mount bracket, POR 15, on both sides. It looks nice and shiny, and everything's about stuck, but went ahead and did both sides. And I can't put this on until I get my brake lines and fuel lines back on. So what I'll probably do is just hang it, hit it with paint. I'll have to scuff it up a little bit. It's got a little bit of a run there. I don't know if y'all can tell, but it don't really matter. The motor mount's gonna cover that up anyway. And I got the skid plate clean, or cleaner. It's actually aluminum. You couldn't tell it for all the grease and grime on it. That thing was level across here, and you can see on the bottom it's got a few scratches, but I think I'm just gonna leave that like it is. I'm not going to paint it. I like that aluminum look. These are the motor mount brackets that go to the engine. I don't know how that one got so rusty, but these I had left soaking in this thing for over a year. This one rusted, this one didn't, but this one's got dirt all over it, so I'm going to have to wash it off good before I prime and paint it. But that goes on the new motor. The old motor, they're still on it. What I'm going to work on today, if I can get my train of thought back, is these gas tank brackets. I've got new straps to go on them. You can see the straps just broke off. This one, I'm hoping they broke off that one. Yep, they broke off both of them, so that's going to make it a lot easier. Just unbolt them right there. Get the brackets cleaned up and ready for some POR 15 on those. So I got the brackets off pretty easily. The problem with these brackets is this part here attaches down here in these three rivets, so they've got to be drilled out, ground off. And I started back using my air impact because the batteries on those Craftsman just don't last, and since I've got air, and it has a lot more torque than that electric one, and it comes right off. So what we're going to have to do is just take a pick, maybe a pick will work. Just get in here and break this up as good as we can. pretty rough. I do have another set of tank brackets out at my mother's house that may but possibly be in a lot better shape than these. I've never seen these brackets in that bad a shape. Matter of fact, I don't even remember them being welded like that. I thought they was just one piece. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go out to my mom's and look at those tank brackets I got out there and see if they're in any better shape than these. Because that's really gonna be a pain in the butt to clean. Alright guys, I went and got this tank from out at my mom's, and the brackets are totally different. And that's why the other ones was kind of throwing me off. I wasn't used to seeing a bracket like that. This is a 20-gallon tank, where the other one right there is a 16-gallon. You can see the red RTV in the bottom where somebody tried to stop it from leaking. Guess what? Red RTV don't stop gas leaks, alright? But anyway, I pulled this thing up, and these brackets only go down to here. We can see the rivets for the straps. This thing got a lot of water in it, but we're going to try to get it off anyway. Now, it is a little bit of a bitch to get these, to get new straps to work right. Bend them the way they're supposed to be bent. Well, these things are sitting right on the ground. But we can look and tell, yes, there's some pitting, some rusting. They ain't bad. I believe it'll clean up. The straps are still in, I mean, usable shape. I wouldn't want to use them, but they ain't terrible. And you do notice, maybe you can see right there, when you strap these tanks down, it bends that seam of that tank. You just about got to bend that seam down to get the straps on. So if you're replacing straps and your straps seem to be not long enough, you take you a hammer and beat that seam down a little bit on both sides, and it'll work. It's gonna be a little bit of cleaning to do on them. I got to grind these brackets off. I mean, these this one's got a nut on it. It'll grind the rivets off. So I got to change my, I don't know if y'all can see it. Barely. The rivets, 3 of them right here. I got to grind these off. I got to unbolt this and get this bolt out. I don't know why it's doing in there. And then we'll be able to get this old strap off. And we'll just take some small bolts and bolt the new strap on. And it should be good. So I got to change my grinding wheel because I had the cutting wheel on my grinders. And we'll get to grinding and get this straps off. And as quick as that, we're done with that. Give it a little support. Of course, getting it to stay still. It'd be nice to have a second set of hands. Yeah, she coming now. hard to get. So I got me a little wire brush on my grinder. Let's put on the respirator because that is dusty. And since we got one handy, why not wear it? Save your lungs. Alright, so right up in here, it's kind of hard to get to. Up in these tight areas, I wish I had my little die grinder working. A little bit more right up in there, probably get with some sandpaper. Right up in there. It's come pretty clean. I got some pretty rough scale right there that needs to be knocked off. I think I can take a hammer and just beat on it. Well, sometimes that's the best way I know to get rid of scale. It's just to beat the shit off. If it won't come off with a wire wheel, just beat the damn stuff off. Looks a lot better. A little bit right there. About as good as it's gonna get, I'm afraid. So I'm gonna take some 80 grit sandpaper and just hand sand the rest of this, and should be ready to do some POR 15 and 2. And the back side looks pretty good. Pretty good. We got one more. This is in a little bit worse shape. We'll go ahead and get this thing cleaned up, and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright guys, to finish up this video, I was going to show you I did get one coat of POR 15 on one side. The other side I still got to use a little paint prep, and I'll do that tomorrow after this side dries, and it'll be ready to spray with some chassis black on Saturday. So thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe.